Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to MPWF WAR, and here we are. Here comes a man we haven't seen in quite some time, since his little mini feud with Tendencies a couple weeks back. Brian Barbados back here on MPWF WAR, looking to impress the fans here in Davenport, Iowa. Brian Barbados is a happy-go-lucky kind of guy. He's a very, very impressive superstar here in the MPWF, and looks to showcase his talents here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd just like to tell you at this time that this show is brought to you by SmackDown vs. Raw 2011. This is your moment. Also brought to you by WWE All-Stars, ladies and gentlemen. And also brought to you by the WWF, the World Wrestling Future, where your future and dreams come true. Oh, this right here is not any good for Brian Barbados, ladies and gentlemen. Here comes Lemar James Jackson, LJ squared. He said he certainly isn't in any good mood. We saw that raucous promo he cut last week. Some of the language he was using we will not repeat at this time. Lemar James Jackson, the new client of Mongo, for some reason is trying to take out Joe Eagle. But he's talking about violence and the hood and how that made him get to where he was and being a nice guy and wrestling and whatnot didn't. Lemar James Jackson, I mean, he's a completely changed man here in the MPWF. And well, he's gonna have to meet his maker when he faces Joe Eagle at MPWF Starrcade. If I was Brian Barbados, I'd be really careful in this matchup. Lemar James Jackson is not the same person he used to be. Oh my god. Jesus, what a double axe handle there by Lemar James Jackson. And now Jackson throwing Brian Barbados back into the ropes, and oh, big time German suplex there by Lemar. Lemar James Jackson, or LJ squared, however you want to call it, is right now just inflicting pain there on Brian Barbados. And Brian Barbados is getting the hell beat out of him, getting his tar whipped. A T-bone suplex there by Lemar James Jackson. He hasn't even come close to smiling once. He just looks pissed off. An angry ass black man is what Lemar James Jackson is right now. What a knee to the face. And now Jackson beating the hell out of Brian Barbados like he stole his money or something. Oh, what a shot there by Lemar James Jackson. Lemar James Jackson right now, some may call this a hate crime. Some may call that a gut-wrench power bomb. Just nothing but pure impact. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid this matchup is over. Lemar James Jackson going for the pinfall already. 1, 2, 3. Jesus Christ, that was yeah. I don't even know how to describe that, but Brian Barbados just got destroyed. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, if you just missed this match, you pretty much will see the entire match here in the replays, because how short it was. Lemar James Jackson, I have never seen him that impressive in my life. Maybe this new attitude change has benefited him wrestling-wise, but he absolutely destroyed Brian Barbados in this contest. Brian Barbados he got no offense whatsoever, and that gut-wrench powerbomb was devastating. That was devastating, that gut-wrench powerbomb. We heard that shake the arena. And now look at this. Look at Mongo shaking his hand. Mongo is the devil, ladies and gentlemen. This man is nothing but pure evil, pure sickness. And Lemar James Jackson celebrating his victory over Brian Barbados, celebrating his mauling over this kid. And Mongo is happy with it. Mongo is happy with this new client. Oh my god, how is Joe Eagle going to stop this man at MPWF Starrcade? Oh god, no, Lemar James Jackson's picked up the microphone. And again with the excessively disgusting language. And again, we apologize for Lemar James Jackson's language here on the microphones. See, that's not even coherent. I want your bitch ass now. Lemar James Jackson calling out Joe Eagle. And I don't even know if that's a smart move on Lemar James Jackson's part. But look, there's Joe Eagle. Joe Eagle's not going to back down from Lemar James Jackson at all. Lemar James Jackson put Joe Eagle through a table 2 weeks ago. Joe Eagle isn't going to forget that. And look at these guys beating the hell out of each other with rights and lefts. Rights and lefts. Just going at it right here in the crowd in Davenport, Iowa. This crowd going insane as Eagle and Lemar James Jackson just tearing each other up. Just beating the living hell out of each other. And now Joe Eagle. Oh, and a knee to the face there on Lemar James Jackson. And again, another knee by Joe Eagle. Joe Eagle stomping away at the leg of Lemar James Jackson. And this isn't a wrestling match right now. This is a fight. This is a brawl before Starrcade. A brawl between these two men. So I didn't think a rivalry could get so personal so fast. But I mean, Vermongo, this is all his doing. Vermongo doesn't like Joe Eagle for the simple fact that Joe Eagle wouldn't become one of his clients. I mean, Vermongo, that selfish bastard, look at the pain he's caused in Joe Eagle's family. Abducted his son. Son is never going to recover from trauma like that. He was abducted and sent halfway across the world to Japan. How do you deal with that? Joe Eagle has been... he's still hurt from that TLC match. At MPWF TLC, I mean, there's so much happening in this situation. And now Joe Eagle going to throw... Oh, Lemar James Jackson goes face first on the steel ring step. Oh my goodness, Joe Eagle, I think he just busted Jackson open. Lemar James Jackson has been busted open. Joe Eagle, the double axe handle off the top turnbuckle. And now Lemar James Jackson can see exactly how much he's bleeding right now. I mean, maybe Lemar James Jackson is having second thoughts about this whole violence thing, about having this fight with Eagle. And oh, Eagle sliding away from him with a sledgehammer. And Lemar James Jackson trying to wrestle it away from him. And he has the sledgehammer away from Joe Eagle. And Joe Eagle now in trouble. Oh! Shot to the ribs. Shot to the injured ribs by Lemar James Jackson. And you can see the blood coming out of his forehead. And now if Lemar James Jackson hits that gut-wrench powerbomb, this will be all said and done. And oh, Joe Eagle. Oh! Shot to the back of the head. Joe Eagle now has a sledgehammer for himself. And oh, he takes a shot at Lemar James Jackson. And Jackson dropped instantly. That sledgehammer is meant to crush stone. And it may have crushed Lemar James Jackson's ribs. And now Joe Eagle going to throw Lemar James Jackson away. And oh, Lemar James Jackson try to hang on. But Joe Eagle knocking him off the apron. And Joe Eagle telling Lemar James Jackson to get back inside the ring this instant. Telling him, boy, get back inside the ring. And Lemar James Jackson going to go back inside. And oh, never mind. Lemar James Jackson may have done the smartest thing he's done all night and leave Joe Eagle. This is not the time to be facing a man who wants to kill you. I mean, oh, this is going to be a hectic situation when MPWF Starrcade rolls around this Sunday. Who's going to win between Lemar James Jackson and Joe Eagle? And here we are backstage, ladies and gentlemen, as Kelly interviews the World's Heavyweight Champion, Brian Adams. Well, Brian Adams is pumped up, ladies and gentlemen, for his match tonight and for MPWF Starrcade, so let's head to ringside. Oh, wow, a huge ovation here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, for Shaun Stevens, Shaun Angel Blade Stevens, whatever you want to call him. But this man, ladies and gentlemen, will be a part of the Money in the Bank opportunity match at Starrcade. We've mentioned it many a times this night. Ladies and gentlemen, Starrcade in 6 days is going to be one hell of a show. I assure you that. Shaun Stevens has a big part of that event. He has the opportunity to become Mr. Money in the Bank. We've seen what he can do tonight. We saw him go head-to-head with Helios Christ earlier. We saw him attack Tendencies earlier. And now tonight, he meets the World's Heavyweight Champion in one-on-one competition. Now there's two things that really make this match interesting from Shaun Stevens' point of view. If Shaun Stevens can pin the World's Champion right now, he will have so much momentum heading into his matchup at Starrcade. But if he pins the World Champion now and wins at MPWF Starrcade, Bryan Adams knows that he has a victory over him, that he can cash in Money in the Bank at any time and become the world's heavyweight champion. See, Money in the Bank is the greatest thing that you could ever have in your career, especially when you have never won a world championship in your life. Shaun Stevens, multi-time tag team champion, former hardcore champion, former cruiserweight champion. He won his first major title in the United States Championship at MPWF Survivor Series. There's one more belt, there's one more title that Shaun Stevens is looking for, and that is the World's Heavyweight Championship. And there's a man who has it, and it's his opponent tonight, and that's Bryan Adams. Again, this crowd here in Davenport, Iowa, giving this man one hell of a reception. They want to see Shaun Stevens as victorious. As usual, a resounding ovation for the world's heavyweight champion, Bryan Adams. He's certainly not in a happy mood. Zack Ryder had a hell of a match with Ricky Cash last week in an Extreme Rules match. You can see Zack Ryder taking some time to heal up. Bryan Adams getting set to face Shaun Stevens. His opponent at Starrcade, Ricky Cash, decided to skip out of his match with Helios Christ and get himself disqualified so he can stay fresh for their match at Starrcade. Bryan Adams isn't that kind of guy. He's going to go one-on-one with whoever's put against him in the ring. Bryan Adams has a difficult match here tonight because he's never defeated Shaun Stevens. He has never pinned him in the MPWF. He has never made him submit. But if he does this tonight, this will be the first time. This will be a huge roadblock he'll knock down. We're heading into Starrcade. Ladies and gentlemen, can Bryan Adams win this match, or will Shaun Stevens take the cake? We'll find out when we return here on MPWF WAR.